Breaking headlines. The Speaker of Parliament, Abdurrahim Abdullah, lauded the recent constitutional amendments as crucial to ensuring a bright future for the Maldives. The Ministry of Higher Education, Labour and Skills Development invites applications for the 7 MBBS scholarships from Bangladesh. And the Ministry of Islamic Affairs plans to conduct a special program aimed at encouraging regular prayer among the Maldivian society. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abna Mahmoud. Looking into the details, the Speaker of Parliament, Abdurrahim Abdullah, lauded the recent constitutional amendments as crucial to ensuring a bright future for the Maldives. Speaking to PSM News on the Parliament's achievements during the past year, the Speaker pointed out the recent constitutional amendments as a key highlight of the efforts by the legislative body. He said that lawmakers acknowledged the importance of the amendments which were spearheaded by President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu. Despite some criticism, mainly from the opposition, Abdurrahim insisted that the amendments are crucial to ensure a bright future for the Maldives and its people. He said that lawmakers do not believe that laws and regulations should be amended or drafted just for the present. According to Abdullah, the amendments the People's Majlis has made to the Constitution gives the people a great deal of confidence that governments will not be able to meddle or change the territory of Maldives so freely. The Speaker rejected the opposition-led denunciation, insisting that the constitutional amendments have further empowered the people and ensured more oversight of the executive. Over the past year, 5 constitutional amendments were enacted, covering anti-defection measures, changes to the Maldives territory, foreign military deployment, public referendums, and presidential responsibilities. These amendments required parliamentary approval before deploying any foreign military personnel within Maldivian territory and mandated that lawmakers retain their seats only if they remained with their political party. In 2024, the Maldives experienced significant political upheaval, with opposition Maldivian Democratic Party MDP losing its parliamentary majority to the ruling People's National Congress PNC after a series of defections and a decisive election. There also saw substantial legislative activity, including numerous amendments and new laws aimed at modernizing the country's legal framework and addressing public concerns. The 20th Parliament aimed to foster participation from all political ideologies and uphold democratic principles, steering clear of violence and defamation. It was regarded as productive, with numerous laws amended and modernized to align with current times. Notable bills passed in the first session included amendments to the Local Council Elections Act, Employment Act, enactment of the Foreign Investment Act, Financial Securities Act, Health Service Provision Act, Legal Profession Act, Urban Planning and Development Act, and Decentralization Act. During the second session of Parliament in 2024, significant work was done on numerous bills, including the Foreign Currency Act, Copyrights and Related Rights Act, National Debt Act, Fiscal Responsibility Act, Constitutional Amendments, Political Parties Act, Tobacco Control Act, Export-Import Act, Goods and Services Tax Act, Tourism Act, and Airport Taxes and Fees Act. The administration also amended the Penal Code to combat cybercrime, focusing on unauthorized access, data interception, and digital fraud. Over the past year, 5 constitutional amendments were enacted, covering anti-defection measures, changes to the Maldives territory, foreign military deployment, public referendums, and presidential responsibilities. These amendments required parliamentary approval before deploying any foreign military personnel within Maldivian territory and mandated that lawmakers retain their seats only if they remained with their political party. The 20th Parliament, currently in recess, has completed most of its work for 2024. With significant bills still in the pipeline and the promise of continued legislative productivity, 2025 holds the potential for further advancement and consolidation of democratic principles. The Ministry of Fisheries and Ocean Resources notes that the implementation of the China-Maldives Free Trade Agreement FTA is set to boost re-export opportunities for fisheries sector products. The China-Maldives Free Trade Agreement FTA enables all fishery products processed and produced in the Maldives to be exported to China at a zero-rate tariff. This measure is projected to significantly boost the export potential of Maldivian seafood, which continues to be the nation's largest export commodity. Duty exemptions will be applied to 296 categories of seafood, including sea cucumber, salted fish, grouper, mariculture products, skipjack tuna, and yellowfin tuna. The Fisheries Ministry anticipates that the FTA will also increase investment in the Maldives fisheries sector. The agreement is set to enhance trade and investment, thereby creating new opportunities for collaboration between the two countries. The GDP contribution of the fisheries sector is expected to rise, providing direct benefits to fishermen and furthering the Maldives' economic diversification and growth. The Fisheries Ministry also underscored that the FTA paves the way for the expansion of free export opportunities, noting that Chinese companies will now be able to acquire seafood and seafood products from the Maldives. The ministry noted that this will further boost trade relations between the two nations. The ministry also added that the fisheries industry will benefit from duty waivers on equipment required for these sectors. The FTA is expected to significantly boost Maldivian export to China, with government estimates indicating that current trade volumes, which surpass $700 million annually, could rise to $1 billion with the FTA's implementation. This agreement not only promotes trade but also strengthens the economic ties between China and the Maldives. The Ministry of Higher Education, Labour and Skills Development invites applications for the 7 MBBS scholarships from Bangladesh. The scholarships by the Bangladesh government under the regional cooperation body, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SAARC, has designated 7 slots for the Maldives. The courses available under the scholarships include 6 MBBS bachelor's degree programs and 1 BDS bachelor's degree program. Applicants must meet the requirements set by the Maldives Medical and Dental Council, along with any additional criteria required by the Bangladesh Medical and Dental Council or by the respective universities. The ministry said that all eligible candidates will be nominated, but the Bangladesh Health Protection Institute, BHPI, will select the scholarship recipients from the nominees. Applications for scholarships can be submitted through the main EDU portal of the ministry. The deadline for applications will expire on January 14 at 12 p.m. The Ministry of Islamic Affairs plans to conduct a special program aimed at encouraging regular prayer among the Maldivian society. The program will be designed to instill love for Islam in the hearts of the people using modern and educational methods of communication. The ministry has announced plans to conduct several programs to boost Islamic faith in the nation this year, with the Love of Salah program a key highlight. The prayer program is designed to raise awareness, encourage the love of prayer, and make prayer the most significant part of daily life as commanded by Allah and in accordance with the Sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him. The program will include online and offline courses and training programs with a special section of prayer-related media. In addition, libraries, research and advisory services, and information will be provided through a website and across social media platforms. The ministry added that the initiatives under the program will also include competitions and an exhibition on prayer. The program will provide information on the importance of prayer, the pillars, the Sunnah, humility in prayer, how to pray in accordance with the Sunnah, and many other important information on how to structure one's life to offer worship to Allah in the most ideal way. The ministry said all the activities under the program will be designed to include all classes and age groups in society. According to the ministry, a study will be conducted before and after the program to determine the level of people's commitment to offer regular salah. The national airline Maldivian is set to host a photo and videography competition and a lucky draw with grand prizes as part of its celebration on the acquisition of its first wide-body aircraft, an Airbus A330. The Airbus A330, which can carry 324 passengers, will be the largest aircraft in Maldivian's fleet to date. While the aircraft is currently in Singapore, A grand air show to showcase the aircraft will be held on January 6th after the aircraft's arrival in the Maldives. According to Maldivian, the air show will be held at the Usvaskar area in Male, as well as Hulumale Phase 1 and 2 from 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Monday. During the air show, the airline has invited both professional and amateur photo and videographers to showcase their talents through captures of the event. Maldivian has offered grand prizes for winners of both categories, including 2 nights a full board stay at a 5-star resort, inclusive of air transfers for 2 as the prize for first place, return tickets to India, Trivandrum or Cochin for 2 people for second place, and return tickets to any domestic destination of choice for 2 people for third place. Participants have until 2 p.m. on January 9th to send in submissions through social media platforms Instagram, Facebook or X. During the event, 30 lucky winners will be chosen in a raffle with grand prizes on offer, including return tickets for destinations on Maldivian's network. The addition of a wide-body aircraft to Maldivian's operations fulfills a significant government pledge. The flight's operation is expected to bring in an extra 60,000 passengers annually. The Maldivians' current fleet includes over 20 aircrafts. Managing Director of Male Water and Sewerage Company MWSC Abdul Mateen Mohammed discloses that the company is set to significantly enhance its water production capacity in the Male region in response to the growing population in the region. MWSC's current desalinated water production capacity stands at 20,000 metric tons daily, while the region's daily consumption is approximately 11,000 metric tons. In an interview with PSM News, Abdul Mateen Mohammed highlighted the necessity of increasing the water production capacity to accommodate the escalating demand. The implementation of 2 new water production plants, one in Male and the other in Hulumale, will each add 5,000 metric tons to the existing capacity. He noted that this project is expected to boost the region's total water production by 30%, providing a much-needed increase to meet future demands. MWSC aims to complete the installation of these plants before the end of 2025. This effort not only focuses on increasing production but also on expanding water storage capacity in the Male region. The company's key project at the moment, according to Mohammed, is the connection of the water supply networks in Male and Hulumale, which is expected to be completed early this year. According to Mohammed, MWSC is taking significant steps to ensure a reliable water supply for the region's growing population. He added that MWSC is working towards meeting the increasing water needs of Male and its surrounding areas by doubling its production capacity and improving storage infrastructure. Asian stocks began 2025 mostly in the red on Thursday after worries about U.S. interest rates, tariffs and China's economy gave Wall Street the holiday blues for a 4th straight session. Equities mostly had a bumper 2024 on the back of enthusiasm about artificial intelligence (AI), cuts in borrowing caused by central banks, and Donald Trump's presidential election win. The Dow ended the year up by around 13%, while the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, which have more tech stocks, climbed over 23% and around 29% respectively. Germany's DAX added almost 20%, as did Japan's Nikkei. The FTSE 100 gained nearly 6% and France's CAC 40 was the outlier, falling 2.2%. Bitcoin exploded more than 120% to break $100,000, while fellow cryptocurrency Ethereum rose over 40%. Gold, coffee and cocoa set new records. On Thursday, shares in Hong Kong and China fell. Tokyo remains closed until Monday. Shares in Australia and South Korea edged up, helped by U.S. equity futures pointing higher. Political uncertainty continued to grip South Korea, with impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol resisting arrest for a 3rd day. In Japan, Nippon Steel was not available for comment after it reportedly sent new proposals to the White House to try to save its takeover of U.S. Steel. Palestine official media reports that the Palestinian Authority has ordered the suspension of broadcasts by Qatar-based Al Jazeera across the Palestinian territories, accusing the network of incitement. Al Jazeera is already banned from broadcasting from Israel amid a long-running feud with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government. Late Wednesday, the official Palestinian news agency Wafa said Al Jazeera's insistence on broadcasting inciting content and reports characterized by misinformation, incitement, sedition, and interference in Palestinian internal affairs led to its suspension. Wafa reported that the specialized ministerial committee comprising the Ministries of Culture, Interior and Communications has decided to suspend broadcasts and freeze all activities of Al Jazeera satellite channel and its office in Palestine. It said that the decision also includes temporarily freezing the work of all journalists, employees, crews and affiliated channels until their legal status is rectified due to Al Jazeera's violations of the laws and regulations in force in Palestine. The network condemned the decision in a statement saying it aligns with Israeli occupation practices targeting its media teams. It accused the Palestinian Authority, which has partial administrative control in the West Bank, of attempting to deter Al Jazeera from covering escalating events in the occupied Palestinian territories, including in Jenin and its refugee camp. Militant group Hamas, a rival of Fatah, which dominates the PA, condemned the decision to ban the network. Hamas, in a statement, said that this decision aligns with a series of recent arbitrary actions taken by the authority to curtail public rights and freedoms and to reinforce its security grip on the Palestinian people, and called the Palestinian Authority to immediately reverse the decision. Islamic Jihad, allied with Hamas in the Gaza Strip, also criticized the decision. Tensions between the Doha-based network and the Fatah movement of Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas have risen in recent weeks following the channel's coverage of the clashes in Jenin. In late December, the channel condemned what it said was an incitement campaign by Fatah against the network in some areas of the occupied West Bank. Al Jazeera continues to work in Gaza, where Hamas seized control in 2007. All-round debut Webster will make his Test debut for Australia in place of the dropped Mitchell Marsh in the 5th Test against India on Friday. Australia won the 4th Test by 184 runs in Melbourne earlier this week to take a 2-1 lead in the series, but still need to avoid a loss in Sydney to claim the Border Gavaskar Trophy for the first time in a decade. Marsh, Australia's 2020 captain, scored only 73 runs over the first 4 tests and bowled sparingly as Australia bounced back from a thrashing in the Perth opener.
Yeah, Bo's been in the squad for a few tests now. Mitchie obviously hasn't quite got the runs or perhaps wickets that he would have liked this series. So felt like it was time for a freshen up, and Bo's been with the squad. He's been great. So it's a shame for Mitchie because we know how much he brings to the team, but I feel like now's a good week for Bo to get a chance.
A victory in the 5th Test would secure Australia a place in this year's World Test Championship final against South Africa. Lacquerware maker Takaho Shoji hunches over his desk in the disaster-hit city of Wajima in central Japan, applying a layer of coating to a dark wooden box. One brushstroke at a time, the 53-year-old is determined to bring life back to his remote community after a devastating New Year's Day earthquake, followed by severe floods. Wajima, a coastal city with a population of just over 20,000, is a nationally celebrated center for fine lacquerware. Products made there are known as Wajima Nori, and a basic soup bowl can command a price of $150 or more. This year brought death and suffering to the city and its surrounding communities at the tip of the Noto Peninsula. As families prepared for their New Year's Day dinners, a terrifying 7.5 magnitude jolt accompanied by powerful aftershocks destroyed houses and businesses. Sweeping fires, a tsunami and landslides engulfed the region, and forced most residents and their visiting relatives to flee to evacuation shelters. Vajramanuri is known for its durability and delicate designs and is often used in tableware like bowls and chopsticks. With its understated elegance, the technique is also used to create high-end furniture and home decor. More than 100 steps are involved in the production of Vajramanuri. The tasks are distributed among specialized artisans, some focusing on lacquer coating and others on carving and shaping. Taichi Kirimoto and his wife now live at his company's gallery space after they lost their house, but he has wasted little time in moving forward. He worked with renowned architect Shigeru Ben to build temporary workspaces made with cardboard materials, and he has traveled around the country promoting his studio's work and providing places of work for artisans. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant day ahead. Bye-bye.
राज्य के एक्सोदंग अन्नमुंदा बदलतका तरक्की के मशरूतंग हिंगा नुहिंगा गुत्गे मौलूमात आम रयितुन्ना मुहिमुवाने मिकंकम के एम फहु के तफसीली मौलूमात गेनिस्तेनी मी प्रोग्रामु
इज्तिमाई रक्कात्रिकं काशवर कुर्मट्टका अमिल फरातका जमियातका सरकार पुरवा मसेकतव मौलूमात वस एम तफसीला की गेनिस्तेनी राजबदुं
सियासी मसरहुगा बदलुमुंग अन्ना हालता सियासी पार्टी तकुं कुरमुंग अन्ना मसेक्केत्त रयितुंगे मजलिहुगे मसेक्केत्तका सरकारुन तंफिस कुरमुंदा सियासत तक्के मौलूमातुत तेबेफुन्ना हमें अर्गुनमें गेनिस्तेनी एकमगे एम्मे इस बेफुल मेत्तेको